Check 1 2 1 2. That's why I don't like using webcam. Stay there. Kind of works this way. Okay. Suppose that will do. Alright, let's begin. Today's stream. We are going to be looking at my top TV series of all time. Yes, I'm doing one of those again, where I discuss previously movies by decade. And today we're covering television. So, let's bring up my movie database, where you see I have a list of 200 TV shows. We're gonna go through all of them. I'm gonna be kind of quick, probably not a lot of detail, because there's 200 of them. Alright, so we're gonna do this in reverse order, starting from the oldest first, which happens to be Gunsmoke. Now, Gunsmoke, well, you can tell it's a Western TV show. If you like Western TV shows, if you like Westerns in general, you might want to check out Gunsmoke. It's pretty famous. Alright, now let's move on. Peter Gunn, a detective show. One of the best theme tunes that ever existed is from Peter Gunn. This thing was on Amazon Prime for a while as well. I remember just throwing it on in the background. It's a detective show. It's a noir detective show. The Twilight Zone. Now, here's something. Because what you're about to watch is a nightmare. You've just stepped through to the Twilight Zone. Rod Serling, one of the greatest imaginations in Hollywood of all time. The Twilight Zone is an anthology series which tells a different story each episode, different characters each episode, and it's very surreal. There's always a good twist. You never know quite what to expect, like it even says here on the screen. An unexpected twist. The Twilight Zone is very important for me as a person. I watched this quite a lot. It's a big influence. In fact, the reason why my YouTube channel is called The Primeval Zone, you guessed it, it's named after the Twilight Zone. It's not named Prince Primeval. My Prince Primeval YouTube channel is much older. I don't use that one anymore. It's the Primeval Zone, which I think confuses a lot of people. They look for me on YouTube. Maybe they still go to the older one, which is quite embarrassing because those videos are very, very, very old. Let's Play World of Tanks when it was in beta, kind of old. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. Moving on, The Big Valley. Another Western TV show. Next up, Batman. The good Batman. Adam West's Batman. Bam, zowie, pow. Holy cow, Batman. Quick, Robin, to the Batmobile. And here's the Penguin. Whack, 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 whack. The characters, the campiness. It's Batman. It's fun Batman. It's not serious Batman, it's fun Batman. And it has that legendary Batmobile, which is a prototype car. Prototype. I can't remember if it's a Pontiac or a Cadillac, actually. It might be a Cadillac. What can I say more about Batman? It's an incredible TV show. I love watching Batman anytime that it was on TV. In fact, I have the Blu-ray copies downloaded on my hard drive. Yeah, because physical media, downloaded media. It's freaking Batman! Before they got dark and gritty and I'm Batman and all that, you know, it's happy Batman. It's quickly Robin. Okay, I'm just gonna go over myself if I keep talking about Batman, so let's go on to Hawaii Five-0. Is this music too loud? Little bit loud. There we go. Yeah, now you can see my music secret. It's a lot of soundtracks from that website. Alright, Hawaii Five-0. Now, this is a show that I've not watched terribly much, but I was sick recently for like quite a long time, at least like between 10 and 20 days, and I had this open, this TV show. It's actually playing on Pluto TV right now, although I found it through Internet Archive, and there's some really good few episodes in there. It's kind of interesting. I especially like the one where he goes to jail, and he's undercover in the jail. He's pretending to be a criminal. This dude right here, the main star, pretending to be a criminal, and he befriends a dude, and they stage a breakout. They do all of this stuff, and right at the end, he switches on him because feds are evil. Speaking about evil feds, here's Adam 12, a show about police work. Literally, that's exactly what it is. It just portrays police work in the time that it's set, in the 60s, in the time that it was made. There's not a lot of plot to this show. It's like, they respond to calls, they respond to things, they show up, they do their job. It's a they do their job TV show. It's not cops, it's not reality, but it was pretty close, I suppose, for the time. Of course, they always paint them in a good light, the police officers. Yeah, moving on. Alright, we've got Nu Pogodi. So this is a Russian cartoon, Soviet cartoon actually, very famous. It's like a Tom and Jerry. In the West we had a Tom and Jerry. In the East they had Nu Pogodi. Just you wait. About the wolf and the hare chasing each other and getting into trouble. A classic cartoon. If you're not familiar with that, if you're only familiar with older cartoons, like Western cartoons like Tom and Jerry, then you might want to check out Nu Pogodi, especially if you're interested in Russian culture. Next up, it's MASH. Now, MASH is a weird thing because it's classed as a comedy. But is it funny? Only in moments. It's more of a drama. I always see MASH as 50% drama, maybe even 70% drama, and 30% comedy. There's a lot of time to kill for these guys in Korea. I think I talked about this on the movie version, but I am more familiar with the TV show. So yeah, they got time to kill because not a lot going on. They're stuck in Korea, so they're playing pranks on each other, pranks on the generals. They're making fun of the war. It's an anti-war show. I'd say it's an anti-war show because they're, pacifists. They're doctors. They don't believe in the fighting. And then every so often, a chopper comes in and they got some serious doctor work on their hands, like ER. But between that, they're like selling pianos and mixing with the locals, getting up to all kinds of shenanigans. That's MASH. It's got a good theme tune. Suicide is painless. Next up, Barnaby Jones, another detective show. This time, the niche is the detective is an old guy. He's an old guy, but you know what? He's still got his mind, and he's doing freaking good detective work. I mean, he's a private investigator. There was a really creepy episode of this. It is a good show. I do recommend it. There was a creepy episode where a girl was meant to be dead, and then she starts making phone calls, and it almost turns into like a supernatural horror movie episode. So that was one that really sticks in my mind when I think about Barnaby Jones. 8 seasons, 179 episodes. You want something to watch? You like detective stuff? Barnaby Jones. Speaking about detectives, man, they made a lot of these. It's Kojak. Kojak is another classic. Very, very classic. You get to see some really nice 1970s cars and locations in New York City. Kojak's a good guy. He's a good guy. He does his job. He loves you, baby. It's Kojak. Next up, Space, 1999. Made in 1975. 99, it was far, far in the future. In fact, in 99, we should be living in the moon and living in spaceships. Well, the timeline didn't quite pan out that way, but in 1975, they imagined it would. This is Space, 1999, and now my memory's a little fuzzy on it, but I do remember watching a good few episodes when they land on the moon, they get up to things, and it's got good costumes, and it's got good props. Definitely got good props. Back to detectives, it's Starsky and Hutch. Now, these two, they're not brothers, but they might as well have been. One of the classic pairings on TV. The relationship between Starsky and Hutch is so dynamic. It's a real like banter, give and take. They've got a real chemistry between them. The actors, they're really good at playing those roles. And the show is fun too. You know, they go and fight crime. It only lasted 3 seasons, if I remember. It needed more. It's one of the classic buddy cop. It might have even invented buddy cop as a concept. I'm not sure, but the Ford, the Gran Torino, is a classic car. Beautiful, beautiful on screen, chasing the bad guys. Starsky and Hutch. He's Starsky, I'm Hutch. Next up, Taxi. Now this is a sitcom. It's probably one of the original sitcoms. It stars Danny DeVito. It's got Danny DeVito in there. Really early role for Danny DeVito. Probably one of his earliest. Yeah, and he's great. He's always great. He's running this cab company. The staff are kind of like Friends-ish characters. You know what I mean? Like they're sitcom characters. They're funny. They're cracking jokes. It's not a serious show. It's a funny show. It's Taxi. Next up, Magnum P.I. Grab your Hawaiian shirt, because now it's time to be a private investigator again. Yeah, there's a lot of those. Yeah, Tom Selleck with his big mustache and doing the eyebrow thing. Classic TV show. He drives Ferraris. Beautiful locations in Hawaii. He's got the friend with the helicopter. What can I say about Magnum P.I.? If you haven't seen Magnum P.I., that's a good show. Next up, Dynasty. I haven't watched a lot of Dynasty. It's a drama. It's a drama. It's a soap opera. If you're into that, you might like Dynasty, and they're all rich. Next up, T.J. Hooker, William Shatner. Right after, well, not right after Star Trek, but after he was famous from Star Trek, he moved on to do a show called T.J. Hooker, wherein he plays a cop. It's better than Adam 12. In fact, I call Adam 12 on the radio a lot. The characters are more relatable. There's a good bunch of action, there's a good bunch of gunfights. If you like action movies, you're probably gonna like T.J. Hooker chasing down bad guys and pulling his revolver and his nightstick. And it's got a good tone to it. Actually, we seem to have missed Star Trek. Speaking about William Shatner, Star Trek should be in my list, and it's not. Well, how did I miss that? Okay, well, I have to talk about Star Trek because I'm a big fan. There might be a couple things missing here. My lists are not perfect. Strick. Did I write? My lists are not perfect by any means. They're more, what can I think of on the fly? 66, yeah, that should be in there. Alright, let's talk about Star Trek. Mr. Spock, McCoy, Bones, Chekhov, Scotty, Sulu. The original idea by Gene Roddenberry is just uncanny. There was nothing like it at the time. Humanity has evolved past petty things like wars with each other and capitalism. And we're actually out there reaching for the stars. It's a very optimistic show. Star Trek was always optimistic. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna do good. We're gonna bring democracy and peace and all that good stuff to the stars. Well, Star Trek is just... it's very inspirational. It means a lot to me. I've been watching Trek for a long time. Actually, I think I started with Next Gen, but I went back and watched the original a fair few times. Doomsday Machine is probably my favorite episode. Moving on. Knight Rider. David Hasselhoff, or Michael Knight, and his super car, his high-tech, decked-out, amazing car that can talk. It can jump, it's got pursuit mode, it's got turbo boost. It can do anything. It's bulletproof, and it's got a personality. Michael, I can't allow you to do that. Kit is just the second star of the show, maybe even the main star of the show. And Hasselhoff is excellent as well. It's a great 80s show. There's lots of car chases. Of course, you get to see this beautiful Trans Am the whole time. Just admired that thing. The stories are very much like similar to the A-Team, which should also be on my list. If it's not, I hope it is. Knight Rider. I'd watch that happily anytime. It's got a great soundtrack as well. The music by Stu Phillips. Synthesizers. Very 80s. Very good. Next up, Cheers. Well, what do you say about Cheers? It's one of the most famous sitcoms in existence. Yeah, I've not actually watched a lot of that, but I'm familiar with the show. I'm familiar with some of the actors, especially Ted Danson and Brendan Fraser, who move on to their own shows, which I'm more familiar with because they're in the 90s. Moving on, Marco Polo. Was this a TV show or a film? I think I meant to save the film version, but apparently there's a TV show of Marco Polo as well. I don't know if I've seen the series. I've definitely seen the movie. Hey, there's the A-Team. I'm glad I didn't miss that one. Although I'm realizing I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I gotta go back and we gotta talk about something because it's supposed to be in the 70s and we're in the 80s now. Look at us, we're in 1983. This is the A-Team. And I love it when the plan comes together. You've got a great bunch of characters. You've got B.A. Baracus, played by Mr. T, the tough guy, the original gangster, if you will. You got Hannibal, the mastermind and the master of disguises. You've got Howling Mad Murdoch, who is always entertaining, always eccentric, always entertaining. He would go on later to play Lieutenant Barclay in Star Trek The Next Generation. And another sci-fi connection, Face. The actor who plays Face, his name escapes me right now, but he used to be in Battlestar Galactica as Starbuck. Yeah, and there was always that part in the intro of the A-Team where he walks past a Cylon costume. And he kind of looks at it and almost goes that way, but turns away. So I think that's a little nod to him being Starbuck in Battlestar for a long time and changing direction in his career, going away from sci-fi. So you have one guy that goes away from sci-fi, and one guy that goes towards sci-fi. And so that's a good segue for Battlestar Galactica. In TV shows, please. 1978. Let's make sure that this is in my list, because this is one of the best sci-fi shows ever made. In fact, I might get myself into trouble for saying this, but listen, Star Trek, I love Star Trek. All my heart. But I've seen it a lot, and the new stuff, I don't know if it's quite for me. So, I find myself looking for other sci-fi shows, and I find myself watching Battlestar Galactica quite a lot. And now the story of Battlestar, if you don't know what the Cylons are kill all humans, kind of like Bender always says in Futurama. Kill all humans, baby. But it's freaking cool. A lot of people might find it corny. I like it a lot. I think, and this is where I get myself into trouble, I think the space battles, I think some of the effects, it's better than Star Wars. It's more entertaining than Star Wars. Again, it might just be because I've seen Star Wars and Star Trek so freaking much, and Battlestar is something that is a little bit newer to me, personally, but I'm really enjoying it. The newer show, I'll come around to talking that because it will be in my list. If it's not, then I'll make sure I add it in. Yeah, definitely gonna talk about the newer show, but I feel like watch the original Battlestar Galactica first. Just trust me on that, especially if you're a fan of the original Star Wars or the original Star Trek, and you want something new to get into. I mean, that's how I got into it, and I love it. Cylons are awesome. Remind me of Knight Rider with a laser. Speaking about good sci-fi, it's V, the miniseries. Now, V was a weird show. It was a miniseries, like I say. Alien invasion. Aliens visit Earth. They're not outright hostile, but they're lizard people, and they do weird stuff. I don't really want to spoil V, because it's a great series. There's also a newer version that they made in the 2000s. I remember that being on Sky TV around the same time as Battlestar and Stargate and all of that early 2000s sci-fi. Yeah, if you're looking for another sci-fi show to watch, and you haven't heard of V, go watch V. Next up, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. By the power of Grayskull, Prince Adam held aloft his mighty sword and transformed into He-Man, the greatest warrior of all time, and his trusty steed, Battle Cat. Rawr. What can I say about He-Man? Saturday morning cartoon goodness. It's a lot of fun. It's got a great theme tune. He-Man, do 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 do. Yeah, it's stuck in my head. You got Skeletor on the evil time. I had a toy of Castle Grayskull or Mount whatever it was, the thing with the evil face on it. I had that. Except I'm a 90s kid, so I didn't know what it was. I think they stopped showing this when I was a kid. I didn't really know what He-Man was, but I had the castle from it that I discovered later, and actually that came from He-Man. I got it secondhand at like a yard sale, as many of my toys were. But yeah, He-Man is awesome. It's awesome. Next up, another classic Saturday morning TV show, cartoon. It's G.I. Joe. Yo Joe. Fighting the forces of Cobra. Cobra. A lot of the voice actors are shared, I believe. I believe Cobra and Skeletor is the same guy, right? It's gotta be. He was also Starscream in Transformers, which should also be on my list, but you know what Transformers is. It's another Saturday morning cartoon. I'm just going to say that. Yeah, let's move on. And Night Court. I've not seen Night Court. It's pretty famous. I think they tried to remake it at some point. I know it from Red Letter Media, because the freaking joke with Mr. Plinkett always wants to watch his Night Court tape. That's how I know Night Court. Moving on, Blue Thunder. I've not seen this. I do want to see this. This is another similar to Knight Rider, similar to Airwolf. Well, Airwolf should also be on my list. It's a show about a helicopter. I guess it's a high-tech helicopter and it fights crime. I haven't really seen it, but it sounds cool. Next up, Lucky Luke. Now, this is a classic cartoon, one of the best cartoons ever made. Lucky Luke, it's actually a French cartoon. I believe French or French-Canadian. They had a comic book series first. And yeah, he's extremely lucky. He hits his shots. He's a easygoing, moseying down the road cowboy who does good and foils the bad guy's plan. It sounds pretty cheesy, but it's pretty entertaining. Trust me. Lucky Luke. V again. Why do I have this twice? I don't know. But there it is. Next up, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Well, let's just talk about Scooby-Doo in general. Scooby-Doo was in the 70s, right? 73. Classic cartoon. Who doesn't know Scooby-Doo? Who didn't grow up with Scooby-Doo? Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. I guess that's the 80s version. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I remember watching that. I definitely remember watching the original Scooby-Doo a lot. Flim Flam, that's a cool name. Next up, MacGyver. Yes. Freaking MacGyver. I know the actor from Stargate. I'm gonna refresh my memory a little bit. What's that dude's name? Richard Dean Anderson. And here's a picture of him in the Stargate days. Yeah, so I know Stargate a lot. I've not really seen MacGyver. It's very famous. It's very talked about on The Simpsons a lot by the sisters. By Selma and Patty. I don't know. I can't say much about it. I've not really watched MacGyver. I do like the actor. Mask, the Saturday morning TV show. This one had, well, they all had toy lines, but this one had a really popular toy line. Because I remember them being pretty huge from what I've seen. They kind of transform. They got guns on them, trucks with guns, all kinds of things. Mask. Dragon Ball. The original Dragon Ball, not Z. We're not at Z yet. This is young Goku. Kid Goku. Kid Goku on his adventure. The tone's pretty different from Z. It's a lot more light-hearted and fun. The stakes aren't as high as Z when it comes to like end of the world and things like that. It's more just adventure. And of course it harkens back to that original Chinese story. Journey to the West? I think so. But hey, it started somewhere. This is Dragon Ball. Married with Children. It's a stupid sitcom. I don't know what to say about that. Whatever. 21 Jump Street. Great theme tune. Really great theme tune. Young Johnny Depp. Young Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street. It's worth watching 21 Jump Street. I know they made movies, but the TV show is like, it's a little time capsule as well. It was 87. You see a lot of malls and Trans Ams and 80s high schools. 21 Jump Street. Next up, Star Trek The Next Generation. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. I mean, who hasn't seen Star Trek The Next Gen? If you haven't seen Star Trek The Next Gen, then I don't know if we can be friends or not. I probably shouldn't say that, but I mean, come on, the characters are awesome. I don't know what to say. It's Worf. Worf's a badass. He gets beaten up a lot. There's Data. Data, very Spock-like character. He's an android. They did a very good episodes where they're questioning, is he a person or is he property? Is he belong to Starfleet property? It went on for 7 seasons. There are a million good episodes. There's just so many moral dilemmas. It's a lot more, I guess, I mean, there is action, but it's a lot more about morality and ethics than the original show was, perhaps. I do like that it has a really nice pacing. It's not action, action, action like the newer Treks try to be. It feels classier. It feels like a TV show for intelligent people. Yes. I don't know why, it's, I don't know if you can call Star Trek niche anymore. It is kind of in the public eye. Quite a lot. It did take the world by storm. Anyway, Next Gen revived the series, of course, and kept it going, and we are very thankful for that. We're thankful for, you know, William Frakes and Patrick Stewart and all the great actors that contributed to Star Trek. Next Generation in the future, far, far in the future, far beyond the time of Spock and Kirk. Moving on, The Dirty Dozen, the TV show. Well, I didn't actually realize I added a TV show version of this to my list. I think I've seen that. I know the movie, of course. The movie is amazing. The Dirty Dozen. The series, I don't think I've seen it. Well, there's something that maybe we can both check out. Slurp my coffee rudely. Next up, Quantum Leap. Yes, Scott Bakula. Scott Bakula is a badass, and he goes through time embodying... It's like Freaky Friday. Okay, you know Freaky Friday. That every episode he's in a different setting, it's in a different time, and he's in a different body. Sometimes he's a chick. Sometimes he's a baseball player. Sometimes it can be just anything. And he's got to get him out of weird situations. Really good episode where he was a mobster. That was funny. He sings Valari pretty well. Yeah, and he's got his buddy there, Al, who is a hologram, and he's there to help him along and try to get him to jump home. This is also, I should probably mention, an experiment went wrong. So all of that stuff's happening, and he's leaping through time, Quantum Leap. Next up, Rock the Dragon Ball Z. Well, Dragon Ball Z is just amazing. It's probably one of the first animes that I saw that wasn't Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Beyblade. One of the first proper animes that I saw in the West when they brought this over and they dubbed it in the 2000s, and it's insanely popular for a good reason. It's great characters, it's great sagas. My favorite sagas are the first two, the Saiyan Saga and the Frieza Saga. Majin Buu and Cell and all that stuff. I mean, Cell was pretty cool. It's just, there's a lot of filler in Dragon Ball, and I think the filler gets a little more... it gets a little harder to get through as the series goes on, but it starts out very strong. I don't want to say too much bad about Dragon Ball though, because Dragon Ball is awesome and I love it. And I especially like Vegeta. It's one of my favorite characters. It's just a great mix of characters and their personalities and their ability to train. And you know, as a dude, you get a real sense of, I have to train for watching this show. Alright. Seinfeld. Jerry, Newman, George Costanza, Kramer. I mean, the characters, they speak for themselves. If you haven't seen Seinfeld, it's a little hard to describe. It's a show about nothing, they famously say. It's actually a show about them making their show like it's their own story. The story of Seinfeld is the story of them making a pilot for a TV show, eventually. Doesn't start out right. I mean, it starts out like they're just hanging out and they're working jobs and things like that. Friends copied a lot of things from Seinfeld. Seinfeld is, I think, the pinnacle of sitcom comedy. Seinfeld is something I can watch again and again. Thank you, Jerry Seinfeld, for being awesome. George is very relatable. Kramer's very eccentric. Elaine is quirky. And Wayne Knight as Newman. Wayne Knight, you know, played Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park. You got to see a lot of him. He would go on to being in Third Rock from the Sun. It's also a really good show. I'm sure that's on my list. Seinfeld. It's a big deal. It was a really big deal. Speaking about big deals, it's The Simpsons. Who doesn't know The Simpsons? It was the best in the 90s. It kind of went downhill further on, and now it's owned by Disney. God help us. I haven't seen a lot of the new stuff, but I don't expect it to be very good. I think The Simpsons, it probably should have ended. I don't know, man. It was best in the 90s. It is like a 90s time capsule, and I think it needs to stay that way. But it's got classic jokes. I mean, who can't quote something from The Simpsons? You know, bleeding gums. Moving on. It's. What is it? It is the famous book novel by Stephen King, and Tim Curry stars as the creature. It's not a clown. You don't really know what it is. That's why it's It's some type of space creature that disguises itself so that it can eat your children. Needless to say, it's a horror, but I really love the performance by Tim Curry. It's endlessly quotable, it's very creepy. The scene where he comes out of the drain and turns his head and he's got all that teeth, I think that's the first time you see the teeth. No, it's not the first time, but that stuck with me the first time I saw it. I was like, whoa, I almost had to try to turn off the TV. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking scary. Yeah. I really like this. I really like it. It's especially the performance by Tim Curry. Because down here, Georgie, you flute too. We all flute. Moving on, James Bond Jr. has a silly, very zany Saturday morning cartoon that you might not have heard of. They take inspiration from James Bond. Everybody knows James Bond. Not everybody knows James Bond Jr. It's like James Bond's nephew or something, and he's in a private school, and he's also a super spy and has gadgets and a watch and all that stuff you'd expect. It's very silly. It's very silly. I did have a Twitch button on here where they say Yahoo and all of that crap, and that comes from this TV show. It's so bad it's good. Let's put it that way. Next up, Shin-Chan. Crayon Shin-Chan. Shin-Chan is a really cool little cartoon. I hesitate to call it an anime. It's not really an anime. It's a Japanese cartoon. I mean, come on. The style is pretty cartoony, more than anime. Although I guess that depends. You could kind of see it as an anime. Anyway, those are semantics. What is Shin-Chan? Well, it's a show made for kids in Japan, except he's, pretty rude and crude, and he's almost like a Dennis the Menace. You could say like Dennis the Menace. And then you had the Funimation dub on Adult Swim, where they dub it in English, and they change a lot of the lines and a lot of the jokes to be way more adult, because, that's what Adult Swim was. And that's where I first discovered Shin-Chan, but actually I do like watching the Japanese versions as well, and it's endless. They make endless Shin-Chan movies. They're still making a show, I'm pretty sure. It's just that it goes on and on and on. They even did a crossover with Godzilla. Shin Godzilla meets Shin-Chan. Yes. Next up, Batman, the animated series. Now, this was on TV a lot when I was a kid, and I was sad when they stopped showing it. And luckily, I had VHS tapes, and they recorded at least between 2 to 4 episodes, so I'd watch those 4 episodes again and again. I had the toys from this. I had Man-Bats. I wish I still had that stuff. It's probably pretty rare right now. Batman really came into his own. It's got Kevin Conroy, the same voice actor from the Arkham series of games, and Mark Hamill's famous performance as the Joker. This is definitely the Batman of my generation. Next up, Conan the Adventurer. I don't think I've actually seen this. It's in my list. Sometimes I just save interesting things that I think that's cool. Well, I probably typed in Conan the Barbarian for the movie and discovered there's actually a cartoon of it. I've not seen that, but maybe it's cool. Maybe it's something like He-Man. I mean, He-Man got pretty inspired by Conan, as it is anyway. Moving on, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the next installment. It's now 1993. And you've got Jadzia Dax. Hold on a second. Wait, did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. No, maybe not. Okay, well, I'll come back to it at the end. Maybe something's missing from my list as well. Back to what I'm talking about. Star Trek Deep Space Nine continues the story, continues the adventures of Star Trek, except this time we're not on a ship, we're on a space station. So things are pretty different. It's much more of a drama. You get a lot more character development in Deep Space Nine than with some of the other shows where they're, going from adventure to adventure. This one is very stationary. And, of course, you've got the wormhole. You've got the Jem'Hadar. Battles do happen. Action does happen. And then, you know, you're living aboard this old Cardassian space station that's falling apart at the seams, and Chief O'Brien is trying really hard to keep it together. Odo's a cool character, does some cool concepts about gods and the Bajorans, which is almost an analogy for World War II, with the Cardassians being the Germans. At least that's how I look at it. Quark's a great character. Quark, the Ferengi. You get to learn a lot more about the Ferengi than you did in the Next Gen. And there's a couple of returning characters like Worf and O'Brien. I did want to mention, just on this one still, Jadzia Dax, that actress. Yeah, she's one of my favorites in a different TV show. So if that's not on my list, I gotta make sure I go back and add that one on. Next up, Gridman, the Hyper Agent. Gridman, baby dun dun. A lot of you might not know this. It's a tokusatsu. It's like, you know, Power Rangers, Super Sentai type of show, Ultraman type of show. But Gridman lives inside computers. And all of the enemy kaiju are made by this computer hacker. It's kind of like that, what's that kid from Dexter's Laboratory? Malfoy? Was it? No, Mandark. Mandark. Very reminiscent of that character. So, yeah, it's a completely digital world, like almost like Digimon. Gridman. Great theme tune. Cool episodes. Next up, Walker, Texas Ranger. Chuck Norris kicks ass as Walker, Texas Ranger. It's a cop TV show, detective TV show. It's got a cool tone. It's Chuck Norris, he kicks ass. You get to see him do a lot of roundhouse kicks and martial arts and solve crimes. Next up, Viper. That's something I've downloaded. I still need to actually go and watch it. It's something similar to Knight Rider. It's about a super freaking hyper car that's, you know, bulletproof and all kinds of things. It's similar to Knight Rider, I think. But I haven't actually seen it, so something you might not be aware of is Viper. Next up, RoboCop the series. Yeah, it's not as good as the movies, but it's more RoboCop. It's passable. It's pretty corny, but it's passable. It's kid-friendly RoboCop. It's not violent. It's not R-rated. It's a decent thing to watch. There's Viper again. Why is it twice? And this again. Why twice? Next up, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, another Adult Swim classic where they took old animation of Space Ghost, which was a silly 60s superhero cartoon, and they make him do interviews with people. You had Weird Al Yankovic on there, you had Brack, you had some cool characters. It's a zany little TV show. It was just a good thing to have on. Makes you happy. Reboot's a weird thing. It's a very early CG. Really early CG. Probably give you nightmares, the CG in this thing. Check it out if that appeals to you. Next up, Due South. I remember watching that. I haven't seen that in a long time. What can I say about Due South? It's like a fish out of water. He's a Canadian Mountie, and he's in the US, and he's still, like, you know, upholding the I am the Canadian Mountie good guy. He's got a lot of scumbags to deal with. I don't remember too much detail about that. It's been a long time, like I say. You're Under Arrest. Now, here's an anime. Japanese anime. I like this one. It's about, you know, police squad, police force. It's better than I can't do it justice to describe it. If you're an anime fan and you've not seen this, it might be worth checking out. It's funny, it's got jokes, it's got action, it's got car chases, it's got attitude. You're under arrest. And it's got like little drama romance as well. Next up, Star Trek Voyager. Probably the last good Star Trek was Star Trek Voyager. I met Kate Mulgrew in person. I got a picture with her somewhere. Yeah, I remember that at the Star Trek Expo in 2012. My nerd side is showing. No, it's a great show. They get stranded on the other side of the galaxy. And they don't have the resources of Starfleet to help them along. They have to cross the freaking galaxy. You know, running out of fuel, running out of weapons, running out of, you know, and encountering enemies, encountering species, trying to still uphold the ethics of Star Trek and Starfleet in a place where no one's ever heard of Starfleet. Voyager is one very good, long adventure series. Dangerfield. I don't remember much about this. I can't say anything. Op Center. Tom Clancy. Well, that's why I would have saved it. I like Tom Clancy stuff. I don't think I've seen this, though. Gotta check that one out. Sliders. Sliders is a weird thing. I only discovered it pretty recently when they started showing it on Pluto TV. It seems to be like a time travel, like almost like a quantum leap, except there's, you know, these several characters, not just one dude, going through time, but it's not really time, it's more like universes, alternate universes. And they're trying to get home, and they encounter worlds where things are just quite off. And they have to figure out how to survive there and then slide to the next one. I know. Sliders. Next up, Legend. Now here is not Neil Patrick Harris. I'm forgetful. What's that dude's name? Richard Dean Anderson. Richard Dean Anderson meets Q from Star Trek. This was a short-lived, kind of steampunky Western TV show in the 90s, kind of like Wild Wild West. He's got a freaking air balloon. He's got like one of them's an inventor. Q, I think, is the inventor. And the other one's a novelist, and he's like written novels about this super cowboy. But it's only a character, and everyone seems to think that the dude is actually the character, and he's kind of got to try to live up to that and go on adventures and what have you. Legend. It's worth checking out. It wasn't long-lived. It was very short-lived. Have I ever seen Vikings? Hey, Jack. No, I haven't seen Vikings. I know Vikings. I know what it is. I know what it is. It's a little modern for me, but I know what it is. I think I tried to watch it one time. I just couldn't. I just wasn't feeling like Vikings atmosphere. But I know it's a show. I know it's a famous show. I know it's a popular show. Later on in my list, I think there's a couple things similar to that. Like Spartacus. I don't think I have Game of Thrones on my list, although I know that's popular too. Alright, but we're going in consecutive order here, so we're going by date. And the next one up is Father Ted. Well, here's a classic comedy. A classic comedy from the BBC, right? It was a BBC produced show. You've got some zany, extremely zany characters. Father Ted himself, who's been like stranded on Craggy Island, kind of almost like exiled. Everyone in Ireland is gonna know this show. You've got Father McGuire, who is a little slow, and there's a lot of jokes coming from him. He doesn't quite understand things. It leads to a lot of situations. And Father Jack, who is he's retired. He's old school. He's a dirty, dirty guy. But the priesthood, they want to let him retire gracefully. But he's addicted to his booze and freaking throwing shit, being violent, being a crazy guy. And of course, I forgot her name. O'Doyle, I forgot her name, but she's always like, cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea? A cup of tea, Father. Go on. And she won't leave you alone until you say yes. Caroline in the City, I vaguely remember this. It's another sitcom, reminiscent of Friends. I think they did even cross over some characters, like you see Chandler. Chandler shows up in this. It was a pretty nice time when sitcoms would do that, and they would just wander from one set to another. Goosebumps. You're in for a scare. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare. I remember watching this pretty much every time it came on TV, and of course the book series was big in the 90s when I was growing up. Goosebumps, a gateway into horror. A lot of us became horror fans probably because of this show here, and then moving on to stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's still good stories. Goosebumps. Third Rock from the Sun, another sitcom. This time, aliens. They're aliens. They don't know what's going on. They've landed on Earth. They're impersonating humans. They're here to study us before the invasion. But it's a comedy. They're goofy. They don't understand things. They get into trouble. They try to fit in, and they end up, falling in love with Earth and getting into relationships, getting jobs, getting an apartment. Third Rock from the Sun. Wayne Knight's in this show. Wayne Knight is awesome. It'd be really nice if Wayne Knight was in more things. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit too loud. Dragon Ball GT, spin-off Dragon Ball. I'm gonna speed up a little bit here. Kenan and Kel. Kenan and Kel used to be on Nickelodeon. I used to watch it. I used to joke about the freaking orange soda all the time. It's not even that funny of a joke. It's just something that they would say a lot. Who loves orange soda? I do. Ooh, I couldn't get enough of it as a kid. I don't know why. It's a silly, really silly show. Mortal Kombat, Defenders of the Realm. It's a Mortal Kombat cartoon. Probably a Saturday morning cartoon. I've not seen that. It's on my list because I like Mortal Kombat. Next up, You're Under Arrest. I've already talked about that. I'm not sure why it's here twice. Next up, King of the Hill. That boy ain't right. I can't hear you over my weed whacker. King of the Hill, I've watched this endlessly. This was a comfort show for me, especially when I was in college years. I downloaded the whole thing of this and the whole thing of Shin-chan, and I just watched them on my MacBook. At the time, I had a MacBook. Terrible piece of junk technology. And I would just watch them endlessly, pretty much had them running all night long. John Redcorn, Dale. They've brought this back recently. They've got a new version of King of the Hill. I haven't seen the new one yet. I really hope it's good. I've heard good things. But the classic is definitely a classic. Next up, The Angry Beavers. That's a show from when I was a kid. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Yeah, I remember watching this before school. Angry Beavers. It's a stupid cartoon. It's funny. Next up, Stargate SG-1. Following the movie from Roland Emmerich. And like I say, this is where I mostly know this actor. Richard Dean Anderson. I got it this time. Richard Dean Anderson. Michael Shanks is really excellent as oh man, my memory is not what it used to be. Michael Shanks played Daniel Jackson. Daniel Jackson dies many times. You've got Teal'c, you've got Samantha Carter, the Goa'uld. If you don't know anything about Stargate, there's a gate. Okay, let's start from the start. There's a gate, and it creates a wormhole. You go through the wormhole, and it goes to other worlds, and you discover there's many different worlds networked together. So being modern day Air Force, they go through with their P-90s and their drones and their like modern technology, and you know, they end up fighting ancient Egyptian style dudes, except they're not really ancient Egyptians, they're aliens. They're the Goa'uld. They're these worms that inhabit people's bodies, and that's where our whole ancient Egyptian culture came from. They used the pyramids as landing pads. Hey, our ancient alien theorists say yes. It's Stargate. It's awesome. Next up, South Park. South Park's fucking funny. Who doesn't like South Park? If you don't like South Park, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's fucking funny. Moving on. Cow and Chicken. Yeah, cartoons. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I used to watch this a lot at my grandparents' house because they had cable and we didn't have cable at my house, so I'd go there and watch endless cartoons. Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken. Earth, Final Conflict. It's something that sounds awesome, but I don't think I've actually seen it. So I can't say too much about that, other than it exists. World's Wildest Police Videos. I remember this being on TV a whole lot. You got to see car chases that reminded me of video games like Driver and GTA. And that was pretty cool, except it actually happened, and you're like, holy shit, these people are fucking crazy. Cowboy Bebop, classic anime. One of the probably like intro animes. Used to be broadcast on a TV network we had here called Anime Central. Anime Central, it didn't last more than a year. It got shut down pretty quickly, but they showed a good few choice animes. Ghost in the Shell, Hack.Sign, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, all really good anime. Cat Dog, that's another thing from when I was younger. We're in the 90s, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that. Cat Dog. The little cat dog. They're two different personalities stuck together. One's like an intellectual and one's a freaking moron. It's funny. Initial D. Speaking about good anime, it's Initial D. Yeah, you gotta deliver your tofu down the mountainside by doing sick drifts. And your friends realize you're doing sick drifts and they enter you in a bunch of races and you win, and it's fucking cool. Ancient Inventions. Discovery Channel show. Don't remember. Talk about crossbows and things like that. God, there's a lot to get through early in 1998, man. Come on. Gotta go a little faster. King of Queens. Now, this is probably one of the better sitcoms on my list as well. I like that they're a couple, but they don't have kids. Instead, they've got Arthur, who is crazy old man. Doug and Carrie. Arthur. It's King of Queens. Kevin James is a really funny dude. Watch King of Queens. Speaking about good sitcoms, in fact, the best sitcom On my list, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is my favorite sitcom of all time. Yes, even topping Seinfeld, it's Dr. Becker. Dr. Becker is freaking grumpy, he's angry, he runs a small practice in the Bronx, and he stops into this little diner every day where he has coffee and cigarettes. What can I say? That the characters are zany, they're funny, they keep making like little zings at each other. Little dings, little zings, but they're great characters, and you get to know them pretty well when you've watched Becker as much as I have. You've got this ditzy little assistant. He's got this assistant who's pretty hot, played by Shawnee. It's on the tip of my tongue. Her last name. You got some great performances. When I was talking about Deep Space Nine. Freaking Deep Space Nine, Jadzia Dax, that actress, yeah, she was in Becker. I'm pretty sure she was in Becker first. She plays Reggie. She owns a diner, the same diner that Becker stops in pretty often. You got Jake, who's a blind guy. He runs a newsstand. Dr. Angryhead, Dr. Becker. Yeah, they replaced Reggie later on with a different actress, and that was kind of a shame. That's kind of when the show went downhill, but the early seasons are definitely awesome. Next up, it's Ed, Edd n Eddy. I'm gonna say it's another cartoon. Who hasn't seen Ed, Edd n Eddy? I grew up with this shit, man. The Jawbreakers, 25 cents. They're trying to hustle people. They're trying to make money. Double D's the smart one. Ed is the not so smart one. And Eddie's the mastermind. And they got to go up against the Kanker sisters and all kinds of wacky characters. And Johnny with Plank. Okay, here's something a little bit more serious tone. It's The Sopranos. Tony Soprano, one of HBO's best shows. The Sopranos, it's a mobster family. They're a mobster family. Except, you know, it's now 99, coming into the year 2000. The dude has got all kinds of anger issues. He's trying to deal with it. He's trying to deal with his family who are dysfunctional. At the same time, it's a freaking mafia show. A little bit like The Godfather. Very realistic, very gritty. Very, like, a lot of freaking, violence in this show. It's The Sopranos. Batman Beyond. Right after Batman, the animated series, they made Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis, the new Batsuit. It's Batman in the future. His Batsuit's like kits. It's like freaking high-tech Batsuit. It's amazing. It can do all kinds of shit. It can even fly. It's got jet boots. But the new Batman is like learning the ropes. He's only a teenager. And old Bruce Wayne's gotta teach him, do this, do that. But he doesn't really want to listen. It's a cool show. The Joker comes back in the movie. Spoiler. The future aesthetic is really nice in Batman Beyond. Family Guy. What can I say about Family Guy? It's been going for a long time. The early seasons were great. The new stuff is okay. Stewie Griffin in the early seasons was just the funniest freaking thing. His little baby, and he's like, I will destroy you all. Blast! He's got this British accent. Brian Griffin is played by, a lot of the voices are done by Seth MacFarlane, the creator. Chris Griffin is the dude from Robot Chicken. And there's a lot to Family Guy, actually, a lot more than you'd think. Net Force. I don't think I've seen this, but it's another Tom Clancy show. That's why it's in there. I probably added everything that Tom Clancy has his name on. Next up, Futurama. Futurama, hey, it's probably better than The Simpsons at this point. Yeah. And again, it's another like set in the future. The characters are probably better than The Simpsons, man. I mean, I shouldn't really compare it, but it's hard not to. It's by the same creator, Philip J. Not the creator's not Philip J. Fry. That's one of the characters in the show. You got Philip, you got Zoidberg, Bender's probably the most hilarious. Professor Farnsworth. Good news, everybody. It's Futurama. Whenever that's on TV, you just kind of watch it. Malcolm in the Middle. Bryan Cranston before he was Walter White. I mean, this is going back a long way. This reminds me of being in school. It reminds me a lot of being in school. Because that's around the same time I was watching it. But it's also like, you know, set in that school era for the character, Malcolm in the Middle. He's a high school student. Dysfunctional family comedy. X-Driver, super awesome anime. It's the future. There are no cars that are not self-driving anymore, apart from the ones driven by the X-Drivers. They are a force that's put in place to catch runaway cars when the computers go wrong, which happens more often than you might think. It's CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. One of the better detective shows, a modern detective show. Lots of cool effects. You get to see inside people's bodies and all kinds of things. And you learn a lot about forensics. They do a lot of like computer hacking stuff, which doesn't really work in real life. You can't just like sharpen an image indefinitely. The Brak Show. This is a spin-off from Space Ghost. It follows the character Brak. Zorak is still in there. It's fucking funny. It's an Adult Swim show. I like the Brak Show. Brak's a great character. Zoids used to be on TV. I mean, all of these things used to be on TV. Zoids had some pretty cool CG effects. Robot dinosaurs, if you're into that, you're probably gonna like Zoids. My Wife and Kids, it's a sitcom. Invader Zim, I watched that thing endlessly. I was a big fan of this when I was in high school. I still am a big fan of it. A lot of my humor is quite similar to Invader Zim. I relate to both Gur and Zim and Dib and Gaz. Yeah, pretty much all of the characters there. I don't know what to say. It's made by the dude who drew Johnny the Homicidal Maniac comic book, and so it was a pretty dark TV show for kids, and I believe that's why it got canceled. And then SpongeBob got a lot more fame and kept going, and Invader Zim dropped off the radar. I was sad because I love the art style. When I draw things, I pretty much got an Invader Zim art style. That's how big of an influence this show was on me. And I feel like Zim a lot. I feel like a freaking alien. I feel like I'm an alien here, and who the fuck are you people, and what are you doing, and I don't get it. You know, Zim. It's Zim. You are doomed. The humor is so random as well. It's really, really, really good. Samurai Jack. Back to the Past Samurai Jack. One of the best animators. Genndy Tartakovsky. Butchered the last name, I can't pronounce it. Samurai Jack is freaking cool. He goes back in time. No, he doesn't go back in time. He goes to the future, right? He's a feudal samurai. He goes to the future where Aku's already taken over everything, and he's got to find his way home so he can stop that from happening. Grim and Evil. Before the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Grim and Evil existed. And I remember catching that. I had a little like bobblehead you got in a cereal packet off Grim and Evil. It was a 2-half show. You had one half was a story of Grim, the Grim Reaper, with Billy and Mandy, which you're probably more familiar with, and then the story of Evil, who was, you know, a brain who wants to take over the world. He's in the body of a bear, kind of James Bond villainish. It's a lot of fun. There's the actual Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Evil, unfortunately, got left behind. But we got Billy and Mandy, so it's not all bad. Band of Brothers, a very Saving Private Ryan-ish war drama TV show. It's a pretty intense thing to watch. Star Trek Enterprise. Now, Enterprise got a lot of hate when it came out, but I watched it last year. I watched it over. I mean, I did watch it. I do remember when it came out, and I did watch it. And I think my response to it back then was the same as many Star Trek fans of like, what is this? Is this Star Trek? It feels weird. But having gone back and watched it, it's actually an excellent show. Yeah, they should have kept this going. It's too bad the fans and critics, I guess, kind of hated on it because it's set before Kirk and Spock. And it's actually a cool idea because you've got Scott Bakula as the captain, and they're discovering things for the first time. Like, they're discovering the Andorians. They're hanging out with Vulcans. The Vulcans are trying to hold them back. It's very, very early. They've got this whole conspiracy plot line with the Suliban and time travel involved there as well. It's got a good story arc, actually, Enterprise. And I like the early Enterprise, the NX-01. It's very submarine-like. It's very cramped and small and not comfortable like in the next gen. Gosh, okay, how much more do I have to go here? Quite a lot still. Guys, I think I'm gonna take a small break. I'm gonna be right back. Just for a couple minutes. I need to get myself a new drink here. I'm running out of my voice. Can you hear? That happens. Alright, everybody hang tight. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Cheers. Sorry, that takes time. That's what happens when you live in a freaking giant house. It takes that long to get to the kitchen and back again. Alright. Welcome back. Moving on. Kirby. That was a Kirby cartoon. Yeah, I remember seeing a little bit of that. Just silly. It's weird. It's a very zany cartoon. Kirby, he's just a little guy. Hellsing. Now that was a cool-ass anime. Yeah, I remember being pretty obsessed about that for a time. Hellsing. Alucard. What's Alucard? It's Dracula backwards. I'm sure you Castlevania fans already knew that. Well, in this one, he's more like a Van Helsing type character. He's a vampire, but he's out to kill other supernatural entities, and he's got Police Girl following him around. It's a hyper gothic, hyper violent anime. Next up, Smallville. Smallville. Hey, Tom Welling is amazing as Clark Kent. That's probably one of the best portrayals of Clark Kent that I have ever seen. This used to be on TV a lot. It used to play on E4 a lot. It's pretty nostalgic. I'm actually rewatching it. I think I'm on season... I can actually check here. It's on one of these free TV apps. I'm on series 6, season 6 at the moment. Season 6, about to start episode 11. Lex Luthor is a freaking cool character. Lionel Luthor, Lex Luthor's dad. I mean, you get to meet all of these Superman characters when they were young, when they were teenagers. It's pretty interesting. The stories, it starts out kind of like Villain of the Week, but where I am in the show now, it's actually... They introduced Green Arrow. They've got like a more intricate story that's tied together. Like it feels much more like a story arc than it did in the early seasons. And of course, you've got this whole like he's coming into his own. He's discovering who he is. He's discovering he's Superman. Yeah, it's journey of coming of age, I suppose. But I really like the performance from Tom Welling, and also the character who plays Lex Luthor, and the character who plays Lionel Luthor. Some of the characters, like Lois Lane and Lana Lang, I'm not such a fan of. Chloe Sullivan is cool. I like her. But the other girl characters seem very slightly annoying, slightly like they can't make up their minds. It's hard to watch them sometimes. A lot of the time I'm like yelling at the screen like, why? Why did you just flip-flop like that? Stupid. Anyway, and it's got an awesome theme tune. Really awesome theme tune, Smallville. 24, that used to be on TV a lot. I didn't actually catch it all that much. I just remember the famous like countdown. Beep, 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 beep. Didn't this have Kiefer Sutherland in there? I think so. Not 100%. That's a show I really gotta check out in good detail. I need to go back and watch it like I was doing with CSI and Star Trek Enterprise. It's He-Man. Again, the Master of the Universe. This is the 2000s series of He-Man. It's actually not half bad. Did my stream just go down? Did my internet just go down? Hold on a second. Gotta verify something. Are we still live? Because my laptop over there just lost all its connection. No, it seems to be still good. Alright. Let's continue. Dinotopia. It's based on a book series. The book had pretty cool artwork in there. In fact, one of my things that flashes up in the top right of the screen is it's like a shield, the logo off like the pterodactyl. It's like a yellow face. It was on a shield in this show, and I got inspired by watching it, and I was like, I'm gonna digitize that thing. But that's more semantics. Dinotopia, the dinosaurs speak. Not all of them, but they live in harmony with humans for the most part in this remote island. These brothers get washed up there. They lost their dad. They're trying to get out. At the same time, they're just kind of get integrated into the society where a lot of ships from the past, societies from the past have integrated themselves into this utopia. It's a dinotopia. They've lived in harmony with dinosaurs for however long, hidden from the rest of the world. Hey, if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. It's not scary. It's not like a Jurassic Park. It's not like The Lost World. It's a more fun dinosaur show. Kind of more kid-friendly. It's not really, I don't know, I hesitate to say it's for kids because I enjoy it still, but maybe I just enjoy anything that has a dinosaur on the cover. It's probably the case. Next up, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. And that used to be on TV a whole lot. It was a Nickelodeon show. The CG was pretty gnarly. It was cool for the time. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I fondly remember Jimmy Neutron. Liberty's Kids. This is a silly thing. You want to learn about the American Revolution? You want an educational cartoon? Liberty's Kids. It might be a fun thing to watch if you're playing through Assassin's Creed free or something like that. I don't know, man. Liberty's Kids. Look it up if you haven't heard about it. You might get a chuckle out of it. And the theme tune is atrocious. Really bad. Firefly. Firefly is an awesome sci-fi TV show. We wish it never got canceled. Instead, you know, we got the movie Serenity at the end, so it wasn't all bad. At least we got that. But it's like, if you like the character of Han Solo, you're probably gonna like Firefly. Let me put it like that. Also, if you like Mass Effect, you're gonna like Firefly. CSI Miami. Now, CSI Miami, to me, I think is a better show than the original CSI. I've not seen all the original CSI. It's very long. I've seen the early few seasons. CSI Miami, the performance of that main dude, Horatio, his character's name is Horatio, is just very... It's a very cool performance. It's a little corny maybe if you look at it now, and he's always putting on the glasses. It's a TV show where he puts on the glasses, he says a line, and he puts on his sunglasses, and he's like, yeah! And the theme tune fucking plays. It used to be on TV all the time, CSI Miami. I love it for probably just like nostalgic reasons. It's a good watch though. I mean, I still like it. But that's me. I'm kind of stuck in a time warp. It looks like this time. Puts on sunglasses. It's a meme. Yeah. Alright. You're Under Arrest, the drama. Hey, remember I talked about earlier that anime called You're Under Arrest? Well, they made a live action show of that. There it is. Moving on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2003. Yeah, this was my generation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They did show the like 80s classic one occasionally. but as like a regular Saturday morning thing I would watch religiously, it was this one. I really appreciate the time travel episodes, or is it time travel or planet travel? They go to like a planet full of rhinos, rhinoceros aliens. It was that little story arc that was cool. The animation was awesome. The voice actors were good. The Foot Clan, the Shredder. Watch out for Shredder. Theme tune. It's all good. Sonic X. Sonic X. Sonic X. It's Sonic X. It's animated in Japan. It used to be on Jag Kids, Jagex, something like that. Sonic X. Gotta go fast. It's a meme of a TV show. It's a meme cartoon. It's super weird. It's not like the older Sonic cartoons, which also should be in my list, but they're not. Sonic Sat AM and Sonic Adventures. Those were American Sonic cartoons, and they're pretty fun. One of them's like Tom and Jerry, and one of them's a little bit more like, I don't know, Blue Streak Speeds By. Those were cool. This one was its own thing. It's a little in-depth. They hang out with this kid called Chris, which I think was the weirdest part. I don't know, you probably remember seeing it at some point. Sonic X. Gotta go fast. It's just a meme. It's just a meme. Dead Like Me. There was a cool TV show. Dead Like Me. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. But basically, a chick, unluckily, she gets hit by a meteor. Yeah, that's pretty unlucky. And then instead of just dying, she becomes a Grim Reaper. She joins the ranks of Grim Reapers, who are just dead people. They're dead people. They're like ghosts, essentially, and they go around taking people's souls, taking their lives. It's not an easy job, and it seems kind of random who gets selected to be a Reaper. So this, the main character, this girl, is, you know, pretty young, pretty like, I've got my life ahead of me, but I'm not happy, I'm depressed because I'm an intern in this dead-end office. And so she's pretty bitter about like, well, fuck, now I'm dead, and you know, she learns a lot by interacting with the other Reapers, the other previously already have been Reapers for a long time, characters in the show, who, they all have personalities, they're not, you know, hooded Grim Reaper. However, I remember the trailer for this did feature a hooded Grim Reaper, and then it like reveals that it's a girl, and that really like caught my interest when they used to play that trailer back on Sky TV. Dead Like Me, yeah, I've actually got this downloaded. It didn't last too long. I think they only made like 4 seasons? 4 seasons at most? Maybe less. But it's something you might want to check out if you're in need of a show and you don't want the show to be like 7 seasons long. Dead Like Me. It's an interesting little time capsule. Evil Con Carne. Well, they did spin off Evil into his own show. I don't remember that. I wonder if Megas XLR is in my list. It should be. If it's not, I'm gonna remind myself to look up Megas XLR, because Megas is one of the better cartoons from the time. I used to watch that a lot. It's got great humor in it. I want to watch it again. Next up, the OC. California, here we come, right back where we started from. California, it's that show. It's that show. It's a drama. It's like a teen drama in Orange County, California. It's a comfort show for a lot of people, I think. It is on ITVX right now. Yeah, you can watch it. I'm pretty sure I got this downloaded as well. A lot of stuff downloaded. Because I don't like those services like Netflix and Prime and what have you. It's a waste of fucking money. And they remove your show before you're done watching it anyway. So buy DVDs or just download the damn thing. That's what I gotta say. Mayday. Also known as Air Crash Investigation. Me and my friend, Yegor, we really like this thing, and that dude's like an aeronautical engineer. We watched a lot of this, and then tried to recreate some of the crashes, or some of the settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, because, you know, we were cool like that. Now it's an interesting show. You learn about planes, what happened to them in the crashes, and then how they improve it, and what actually happened, what went wrong with the thing. Did the screw come loose? Like, it could be a lot of things. Did they run out of fuel? Did the gauge, was it a pilot error? You know, it's interesting that it's real. It's a documentary series. Next up, NCIS. Well, I like NCIS. I named my daughter after Abigail, after Abby from the show NCIS, played by Polly Perrette. Good characters in there. Agent Gibbs, Tony DiNozzo was one of my favorite. They're about to bring a show. They're about to bring back NCIS with Tony and Ziva spin-off. Tony and Ziva. I think I've only seen some of the first few seasons, maybe up to like season 4 or 5. But it's a long-running TV show, and sometimes I catch the newer episodes on TV, and I'm like, who is that? Who's the new director of NCIS? Like in the show, like this is people I don't recognize. But yeah, Gibbs is a cool character. All of them are pretty cool. It's a little time capsule. 2003. I like it. It's not the same as CSI, but it is pretty similar. Full Metal Alchemist. Another one of the animes I mentioned used to be on Anime Central. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. They're brothers. They're trying to get their mom back. They're trying to like raise from the dead, but it goes wrong, and now they're fucked up, and they lost their bodies. At least the younger sibling lost his body, and now he's just this giant tin can suit of armor. And they go on adventures, displaying their alchemist powers, trying to help people, but also getting like ridiculed and chased after like by angry mobs who hate alchemists because reasons. That's a good show. Watch Full Metal Alchemist. Oh no, my music has run out again. Let's play some more music. Next up, Planetes. Another one of the animes, say it with me, that used to be on Anime Central. I fucking loved that TV channel, Anime Central. I wish it was still around. I need to do a whole separate video just talking about Anime Central, because I could totally do that. I actually really want to do that. That sounds like fun. Planetes was an anime where it's in the future. We've been in space for a while. There's a lot of space junk floating around, like you hear about it. Like, look at the cover here, it's trying to catch the screw. All of that junk is causing disasters constantly, so, you know, it's their job to go and pick it up, essentially. Planetes. I enjoyed watching it. It's been a long time since I did see it. I think I did only watch it back when it was on Anime Central, which is going back quite a few years. I should watch it again. Planetes. Star Wars The Clone Wars, the same animator from Samurai Jack. This was when Star Wars was cool. This was freaking... General Grievous was a badass. It was before the Revenge of the Sith movie came out. It kind of bridges the gap between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I was obsessed because the animation, the storytelling, the way that Gandhi tells stories, very similar to Samurai Jack. Very, like, onomatopoeia, a lot of, like, silences, a lot of sounds, sound design, rather than talking. Ventress was cool. There was a Flash game off this TV show on StarWars.com at the time, and I used to remember playing that in school at the library. I really would like to get that game going again, although it was a Flash game, so I don't know if there's much chance of that at all, ever. But yeah, you had Dooku, you had the Magna Guards. You had some really cool scenes with the clone troopers, the ARC troopers. You had Anakin going on stories of discovering himself, discovering what he might become. There's a really cool thing where he's encountering like a native race of people, and they kind of use their witch doctor spell or whatever to predict the future of what might happen to him. And it's almost like when Luke walks through Dagobah and sees himself as Vader. Well, something similar happens to Anakin in this show. Hey, if that's not enough for you to go and watch it, then yeah, what else can I say? Next up, it's Deadwood. Hey, if you like westerns, this is a gritty, much grittier, much more like off the time. In these years, the early 2000s, violence, sex, swearing, all of these elements were appearing more and more in TV shows, and they were really starting to push the envelope with that stuff. Deadwood certainly did. Not only Deadwood, so did Spartacus. Spartacus, although I think I'm thinking of Spartacus Blood in the Sand, which I'm not sure if it's related to this Spartacus. I'm able to talk about Blood in the Sand probably more than this one, because if that's not related, then I'm not sure. But hey, here's Spartacus TV show, Romans and stuff. Alright, it's on my list, Megas XLR. Now, here's a cartoon that's probably one of the most other influential things, aside from Invader Zim. This cartoon right here is probably one of the most influential things on me in those years, because it was just awesome. There was just nothing like it. You build a car into a giant robot that had come from the future, and this chick Kiva is following you around being like, you gotta get it back to the future. And then the Glorf, this alien race, followed them through the portal. I'm probably going too fast. It's probably like a lot to take in, but it's a fun freaking show. You've got smashing like monster trucks, except in space. You've got a million missiles. Coop's a cool character. He loves video games and monster movies. Jamie is like his little sidekick buddy, and he's always afraid. He's like, Coop, I don't want to be here, kind of like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And then Kiva's a badass. She's from the future, and she kicks ass like the Matrix. T-Bot will smash. Just endlessly good lines, endlessly good characters in Megas XLR. I wish they had kept it going. I wish there was more Megas XLR around. What a cartoon. Action comedy. Next up, Stargate Atlantis, the follow-on sequel to Stargate SG-1. Unfortunately, despite myself being a pretty big Stargate fan, I never saw a lot of Atlantis. I saw a couple episodes. There's a new enemy, they're called the Wraiths. Towards the end of SG-1, they allude they allude a lot to Atlantis being a real place. And, well, then it carries on into this show, but I can't talk too much about it because, yeah, I never really got around to this one. And that's something I should really give a shot. Maybe after I'm done watching Battlestar Galactica, modern Battlestar Galactica, maybe I'll go on to Stargate Atlantis. Moving on, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Yeah, it's a cartoon, it's a fun cartoon, used to be on TV. I say that about all of these things, right? It used to be on TV. But Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids. What can I say about that? Monsters Inc.-esque, The Loud House-esque. You've got essentially every kid's imaginary friend. When they're not needed anymore, they end up in this like foster house, and they're all hanging out there, having fun, getting up to whatever. And yeah, this kid's imaginary friend is blue. It's just blue. It's just blue. It's silly. It's funny. It's a good cartoon, man. I remember it fondly. Next up, Joey. Yeah, spin-off from Friends. Joey Tribbiani, the same character from the Friends TV show, strikes out on his own. He moves to Hollywood to continue his acting career. And you know what? It's actually a great show. It's really good sitcom. It's a nice sitcom to have on in the background, or I don't know. They should have kept it going. Again, it's another thing that got canceled too soon. I think it got canceled too soon. Obviously, it wasn't as big as Friends, but I mean, come on. Can you really? But it was fun seeing the same character in a new setting, interacting in new ways. Next up, Lost. Lost is on my list of things to watch. Lost was pretty huge. I've got the DVD box set of all of Lost, or at least like up to season 3. It's also on ITVX at the moment, but I've not really seen it. Again, I'm in a time warp. I don't need to watch Vikings. I'm sorry, bro, but I'm in a time warp. I'm completely in a time because I've got endless of these 2000s and whatever else TV shows to keep me watching them. I'm never gonna run out. I'm never gonna run out of that stuff. Drawn Together, another Adult Swim cartoon. It takes, it makes mockery of like popular cartoons like Pokemon, SpongeBob, and Superman, and it throws them all together. Even like Betty Boop is in there, and it's just like it's a pretty dirty TV show. It's Adult Swim. It's what you could expect from Adult Swim. Drawn Together, funny. Next up, Medium. I've not really seen Medium. Again, it's another early 2000s TV show that I need to go and watch at some point when I'm not busy watching other stuff. I'm gonna watch it sometime. Medium. American Dad. I'm not really gonna talk too much about American Dad. You know what American Dad is. It's like Family Guy. Actually, I did meet a chick who didn't know what American Dad was, and I'm like, but Family Guy, and it's weird when people don't know what stuff, but I mean, I guess not everyone's a nerd like me, who watches everything under the sun. Next up, Survivor Man. Les Stroud is Survivor Man. It's better than Bear Grylls because the dude actually gets stranded without a camera crew, and he has to film. You see him filming himself with his like camcorder and setting it up, and then walking off, and then going to pick it up after he's done fishing or whatever. His tips are actually, I think, more useful than Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls is just like, you gotta drink your own piss and eat 1,000,000 ants that sting your mouth. Survivor Man seems a bit more practical with the advice he gives. Next up, Rome. Rome is a drama series set in Rome around the time of, I was going to say Julius Caesar, but it might not be Caesar. Anyway, it's a fairly realistic depiction of Rome, and it's a drama. Bones. Another 2000s show. I didn't really watch it. Bones. It's not an investigation thing. Alright, here's a show we can talk about. Supernatural. Supernatural is one of the best TV shows since the X-Files. In fact, you know, it gets a lot of inspiration from the X-Files, but the characters of Dean and Sam Winchester are just like second to none. Their performances are outstanding, as well with Castiel, Crowley. This is a comfort show for me. For a long time, I hadn't watched it. I only watched it like maybe started watching it 1 or 2 years ago. I remember my first ever girlfriend when I was 17, 18, something like that, gave me a DVD of season 1 of Supernatural, and I never watched it. And I was stupid. I never watched it. It just kind of sat on my shelf. Man, I should have watched it back then, because when I finally got around to watching this, I fucking love this show, man. It's really good shit. They got a great soundtrack. They've got classic rock throughout. Is it Buffy-esque? Kind of. Buffy meets the X-Files meets I don't know what else. But what really sells it are the performances of the main characters, of Jensen and the guy who plays Sam and Dean Winchester. They're really good in their roles. Really, really good in their roles. You can watch them endlessly. The dudes are entertaining. Alright, moving on. Seconds from Disaster. It's another, like, crash disaster, air crash disaster TV show. Although it's not just air crash disasters this time. It's any kind of disaster. Ooh, scary. Moving on. My Name is Earl. My Name is Earl. I really enjoyed My Name is Earl. They should have not canceled it. How many shows on here have I said they shouldn't have canceled it? My Name is Earl. The dude was a skateboarder before he started this show. My Name is Earl has a really good, like, morality to it. It's a goofy show. It's a zany, wacky TV show. It's a comedy. But the dude in the show, Earl Hickey, he's like a pretty common criminal until he wins the lottery, gets hit by a car, loses the lotto ticket, and discovers karma. He discovers what goes around comes around. That's the morality of the show. So he makes this list of everything wrong he's ever done to anybody in existence throughout his whole life, and that's a pretty extensive list. And he starts going down it one by one. I'm gonna make amends here. I'm gonna fix this here. Except the people don't really want to see him. You know, most of the time they're not too happy to see him. They end up chasing him away, and he keeps trying. He keeps coming back, and he keeps trying to do good, and his life slowly starts to improve. And it's a little bit of a roller coaster because sometimes things are going good and things dip down again. And I'm saying this like it is a serious show. It's not a serious show. It's a comedy. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. His brother Randy is a dude who was in the Sega Game Gear commercial when he was a kid. That's just a random fact that I know because I like this show a lot. Hey crap, man. Hey Earl. Go watch it. I say butter, you say toast. Butter, toast, butter, toast. And they're like rednecks. They're like trailer trash. Fucking funny. Alright, moving on. Everybody Hates Chris. More sitcoms. This one used to be, say it with me now, on TV a bunch. They used to be on TV a bunch. You couldn't not see Everybody Hates Chris if you're flicking through channels and you passed Comedy Central. It was a pretty good. It has Terry Crews in it. Good narration. Trying to remember what else I could say about Everybody Hates Chris. I don't know, man. Maybe you'll like it. I know what else to say about Everybody Hates Chris. It's not a mind-blowing TV show. It's okay. It's cool. If you like something like Young Sheldon, you'd probably like Everybody Hates Chris. Bondi Rescue is a reality show set in Australia where they rescue people. They're lifeguards and they rescue people who are drowning in real life. The Unit. I remember trying to watch this. I couldn't really get that into it. It's like a Navy SEAL secret Black Ops team TV show. And they go on operations, but they also have families. It's alright. The Windfall. I don't think I've seen that. It's in my list. It's got a 10% rating. Oh, we should check that out. Crayon Shin-chan is there again. Probably because that's the Japanese version. Afro Samurai. Samuel L. Jackson. The Tudors. I remember liking that show. And I ordered a box set and it never arrived. And I was kind of pissed off about it. And I don't know if it holds up. I don't know if I watch it now, if I'm still gonna like it. But back then, I think I liked it because it was fairly authentic feeling. And I was into Skyrim. I was into medieval settings quite a lot. And that kind of scratched that itch at the time. Chuck's a James Bond-ish show, I hesitate to say. It's a goofy comedy. It's not serious. It's over the top. It's cheesy as hell. But it's kind of passable. You can watch it. The story is pretty dumb. The characters are kind of alright. I like John Casey. He's kind of like a badass CIA agent. Chuck has secrets in his brain. He's like an average store clerk for the geek team. And he's got secrets in his brain that terrorists want to get at. And so the CIA sent agents to protect him, and he gets romantically involved with them, and they get involved in his life, and yeah. It's a comedy. It's kind of like Scrubs-ish humor. Spice and Wolf, that's one of the first animes that I watched outside of TV. That was one of the first ones I watched on like a anime streaming site because it was recommended to me by someone very close to me at the time. Some of my earliest anime and manga shows were from that person because they were an anime weeaboo anime fan, and Spice and Wolf's pretty good. It's pretty good as far as those go. It's got a lot of atmosphere. I like the atmosphere. Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles. I didn't really watch that. I like the Terminator movies. I remember when this TV show came out, I was kind of like cool, but also not cool because they don't look like the movie characters at all, and I think that caught me off guard. I think I just wasn't ready for like, that's a different actress, you know what I mean? So it's something that I'd give a shot again. I'd give it a shot. But I can't really speak to if I like it or if I don't like it right now because I haven't really watched it. Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is a fucking classic. At this point, it's a classic. Who hasn't seen Breaking Bad? Are you living under a rock? when this came out, 2008, when this premiered, FX channel here, they used to just show the premiere episode, the pilot episode, again and again and again and again and nothing else. So I watched the pilot a bunch of times. And this is around the same time as I started college, and I was a media and film student. So I did this whole presentation about this show, Breaking Bad. The pilot is awesome. It's gonna be a huge fucking show. And I remember everybody in the class, you know, they're kind of like, whatever. And then it did become a huge show. And, you know, once again in my life, I get to say, I was right and nobody listened to me. Hey, how many times have I fucking said that? About a fucking million times, bro. Anyways, Breaking Bad. Walter White is an average high school chemistry teacher. But then he gets diagnosed with cancer and he can't fucking pay for it and he wants to leave stuff behind for his family. So he teams up with this dropout former student who, you know, is slinging drugs and, yeah, he breaks bad. He gets into crime. He gets into all kinds of things with the cartel and higher up gangs. And he makes a name for himself. And he kind of loses touch with his former self. He becomes a new character. He becomes a new person. Walter White just totally becomes someone else. Bryan Cranston, the same dude from Malcolm in the Middle, playing Walter White in, I don't know if that's his first serious role, but definitely he proved himself as a very serious actor, as a very dramatic actor in Breaking Bad. Moving on, Flashpoint. That's something that I discovered is streaming on Pluto TV. At the moment, it seems to be a police drama TV show. I looked at it a little bit, but I can't really say I've watched a full episode or paid that much attention to it when it's been on, so I can't tell you too much about it other than it exists. Moving on. Generation Kill. Now, Generation Kill was a mini-series that took place during the Gulf War? Was it the Gulf War? Or the invasion of Iraq? And so if you like stuff like Jarhead, you like movies like Three Kings, and those war setting movies, you're gonna like Generation Kill. It's a lot like Band of Brothers, but in a modern setting. I think that's the best way to put it. My favorite quote from the TV show is, "Hey, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. What are you still doing in your pajamas?" And he's yelling at the freaking, you know, Iraqis wearing the traditional Muslim robe. It's not a comedy, it's a serious thing, but I really like that line. Moving on, Masha и Медведь. Да, я знаешь, Masha и Medved. When I was studying Russian language, I watched a ton of Masha and the Bear in its native Russian to study the language. That's also where I know Nu Pogodi and things like that from. So, Masha and the Bear, it's in my list. Actually, in fact, when I went to Russia, I brought home a mug of Masha and the Bear, which sadly I don't think I have anymore due to some recent events, and I lost a bunch of my stuff that I looked after for many years, and you know, stuff that I have acquired for a lifetime of going to places and traveling and picking up unique items, which is sad. But I mean, I didn't lose everything, just that was one. Anyway, let's not make myself sad. Let's move on to Stargate Universe. Oh no, that's gonna make me sad because Stargate Universe kind of killed Stargate. You know what? I haven't watched it in full detail, but it seemed to me, and I think most fans, like Stargate is trying to be Battlestar, because they put the Stargate on a ship and they fly around and they kind of get stranded somewhere, a little bit like Voyager, except, you know, they've got their Stargate on board. And does it make much sense? I don't know. But it is very reminiscent of either Voyager or Battlestar. And yeah, being Stargate as we want it to be Stargate, I think that's why it didn't do too well. And unfortunately, not a lot has happened with the franchise since then. Next up, the Garfield show. It's Garfield. Garfield, I ate those food. It's 3D Garfield. I don't know what to say about that. It's a Garfield show. It's Garfield. It's Garfield. He likes lasagna. He kicks a dog. V, the miniseries, I've talked about this already. Well, here is the modern rendition. 2009 modern rendition of V. Which, that's the most I can really say about it, because I've not really sat down and watched it. Someday I'll sit down and watch it, and maybe I can make a whole video about it separately. But until then, move on. World War II in HD. It's remastered footage of World War II, colorized in HD, and it's a documentary series. Spartacus. Now this is the Spartacus that I meant to talk about. It's very bloody, violent, gritty, got sex, got like a lot of action. These kind of things came around after Gladiator was hugely popular. I remember enjoying this TV show. I don't know if it holds up. I don't know if I'd still enjoy it as much as I did back then, but I do remember hearing the main actor passed away, sadly, so I think that's why it got canceled. I also know it as Spartacus Blood and the Sand. I'm not sure if that's a separate show or not. The Pacific. It's Band of Brothers, but in the Pacific Theater. Another intense war fighting, war realistic show. It's got interviews with veterans in there as well, pretty sure. There's one scene where the guy fires a machine gun a bunch and then lifts it up with his bare hand, and the thing fucking scars his hand. It's like heated up the barrel of the machine gun so much, and he picks it up and he's just like, he does it anyway because they're under attack from the Japanese, so he kind of goes Rambo with his hand burning, and that's a cool fucking scene. I like that part. I remember that part. Ancient Aliens. It's a documentary series where they tell us why everything like Stonehenge and the pyramids were built by aliens. Well, you might not believe it, but our ancient alien theorists say yes. Dual Survival. It's a Bear Grylls type show, a survival show, except you've got one guy who's hyper military and one guy who's hyper hippie. Hippie man. And they don't really like each other, and they've got different methods on how to do things, but they're supposed to be teaming up, or at least showing the audience, you can do this way, or you can do that way. The fucking Marine Army guy, he's nuts. He is nuts. He eats a leech. He eats a bunch of leeches. It's gross. I remember that. He had leeches on him, and he's like, you know what? This blood is my blood. I'm putting it back in myself. And it's fucking dumb as hell. Ah, God. Next up, Boardwalk Empire. I can't really speak to that show. I don't really watch it yet. Transformers Prime, that was a cool rendition of the Transformers. 3D animation, actually not bad. Falling Skies, not Falling Skis. I can't say anything about that. I don't remember a thing about this. Not sure if I've even seen that. Same with this one, Person of Interest. Not sure I've actually seen that. Some things are on my list just because they're on there for me to get around to, but I forget to ever get around to it. Ninja Turtles 2012. Actually not bad. You might think, well, it's not gonna hold up like the original Turtles or the 2003 Turtles. Actually is not a bad rendition of the Turtles. I actually quite like this one, or at least I remember liking it when it came out. Yeah, the newer Turtles look weird, but this one was still good. Nathan For You. I watched this randomly when I had Amazon Prime because what the fuck else was on Amazon Prime? Nothing was on Amazon Prime, so I ended up watching Nathan For You, which is kind of funny. It was alright. I'm gonna let you look up the details about that one. But he kind of messes with people a little bit like Borat would. Yeah, Nathan For You. He's just like an awkward dude. Devil is a Part-Timer. I didn't watch the whole thing of this anime. I watched the first season, maybe, if even that. Maybe just like the first few episodes. I remember liking it. It's a cool thing where like the dude works at McDonald's but is really the devil. Yeah, I'll let you make. You can make that of what you can make of that what you will. Yeah. Next up, The Attackers. This is a cool Russian show set in World War II. You can watch it on Star Media. Star Media EN has an English translation of this show. There's a really good line. This is about, if you can't tell, this is about pilots in World War II and defending their country against the German invaders. There's a cool line in there where they get shot down and they end up going to a house or like a cottage, dacha, right? And they go to a dacha and there are some chicks there, and the pilot is super sad because he's like, my freaking comrade just died, and the chicks want to drink vodka and have sex, and the dude's like, no, I'm too depressed. And then the chick is like, yeah, so there's a war on. What are we supposed to do? Stop living? I like that line. That resonated a lot with me. What are we supposed to do? Stop living? Turn, Washington Spies. You know, I always wanted to watch that, but I never did. I remember it being promoted a lot on History Channel. It's a, historical drama set around the Revolution. NCIS New Orleans. Scott Bakula is back. Spin-off show for NCIS. I didn't watch it yet, so I can't really say is it good or not, but it's got Scott Bakula, so it probably is good. Sons of Liberty. This was a miniseries, again, from the History Channel, set during the American Revolution. Really cool thing, like it ties into Assassin's Creed 3, at least for me, like that's the relevant nature of that show. It has Sam Adams. The drama and the action was actually pretty good. I'm finding it very difficult to get a hold of that TV show these days, though, and, watch it over again. Which is too bad. 2015 Transformers. It actually had some cool animation in this. It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. Texas Rising, that's another historical drama, historical miniseries. I'm not sure if I watched that. Definitely not in its entirety. Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, they go down some weird story arcs there, especially with this little like blue guy who's a god, and this comes after that Dragon Ball movie with Ra or whoever, God of Destruction, whatever the heck that cat thing with the ears was. It Dragon Ball got weird for me around this time, and you know I count myself as a Dragon Ball fan, but I watched it as far as the Goku Black stuff was happening, and they crisscross universes. I guess my impression off this, as far as I watched it, was it's a lot of fan service, and I didn't really feel like the story was too strong, in my opinion. That's going on what I remember from 2015, so yeah, it might not be entirely accurate or not. This is what I remember. My impression was Attack on Titan Junior High. The characters, I forgot this exists. The Attack on Titan characters are in Junior High, spin-off of Attack on Titan. I haven't really seen that. I've seen some of Attack on Titan. I haven't even seen the full series of Attack on Titan. But yeah, that's funny. There's a thing you might not have known about. High School Fleet. I liked High School Fleet, actually, as far as animes goes, and you know, I'm not a huge anime fan. Let me make that pretty clear. I'm not like an anime obsessed person at all. I do like sometimes here and there. I'm not trying to shit on people who love anime or anything like that, but you know, it's just it's never been like, here's my thing I'm obsessed about. But occasionally I'll see one and I'll be like, that's cool, you know. So High School Fleet, I think I liked it mostly because I was into Navy ships off World War II at the time, because playing stuff like World of Warships and I was gonna say Navy Field, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, I did watch the whole thing of this. It's not too long of an anime, which is actually pretty cool for me, because when things are very long, I kind of trail off on them sometimes. No, I enjoyed this. That's all I can really say about it. I'd have to watch it again to refresh my memory, quite honestly. But I do remember thinking that's not half bad when I watched it. Probably because it has, you know, cool ships in it, and that's probably why. 6, about the Navy SEALs. I don't think I've seen that. It's in my list. The Mist. I've not seen this either. I've seen the film. If this is a take on the film The Mist, it's a version of that. Star Trek Discovery, I watched it up to like season 2. My first impression of it was, this sucks. Then I came back and watched the last year up to season 2 or 3, and I remember enjoying it a little bit more because I put aside my qualms with like the Klingons changed their look and they act completely differently now. And there's not a whole lot of Star Trekking going on in this show. It's just more focused on the main character, Michael Burnham. And if you set that stuff aside and be like, okay, this is about Michael Burnham and her story, then you can kind of enjoy it for what it is. But I wouldn't relate it too much to other Star Treks at all. Next up, also they introduced Spock. I think that's where I got up to. Whenever they introduced Spock and they caught up to him, That's around the place I trailed off. The Men Who Built America, it's another History Channel drama. Air Crash Investigation, we've talked about that already, it's more of the same. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, I wanted to watch this because I like Tom Clancy stuff and the character Jack Ryan. Mostly I know him played by Harrison Ford in the movies. I haven't seen this TV show yet though, it's on my list, clearly. Magnum P.I., the modern Magnum P.I., wasn't too bad. They actually did a pretty good reboot of Magnum P.I., unlike the reboot of Knight Rider, which wasn't very good at all. Yeah, that should be in my list too, but it's not. FBI. I've seen a couple episodes here and there. It's alright. It's not quite NCIS, it's not quite CSI. It's FBI. Project Blue Book. They look for aliens, kind of like the X-Files, except based on real life. I didn't see the whole thing. I started watching it and I think I trailed off. Death to Spies is fucking cool. Smersh. Smersh is, you know, the Russian organization before the KGB. In World War II, they hunted down enemy spies and intelligence officers and did their own spying on the enemy. Death to Spies, I remember enjoying watching this. It's another Star Media show. You can watch it in English, you can watch it with subtitles. I'm also like relating it to a game. There's a game also called Smersh, Death to Spies, which is very much like Hitman. I've not played Hitman all that much, but I did play through Death to Spies. And imagine Hitman in World War II, where you have to, you know, take the uniform of German soldiers and officers to pass for one of them and get documents and get out and kill their VIPs and whatever. Catch-22, this is a TV show. Originally it was a movie in the 70s, Catch-22. It's about bomber pilots in World War II and the tasks that they had to do. It's kind of a drama. I've seen some of this, not the whole thing. If you like stuff like Band of Brothers, you'll probably like this. I finished all these drinks again already. Man, we gotta get through the rest of this list. I've been doing this too long. The Unexplained, William Shatner. William Shatner explains things that are not explained. Zoids, it's more Zoids. For All Mankind. Actually, this is some good hard sci-fi. I like this. It's pretty alternate universe, realistic-ish. When you watch For All Mankind, read the book, The Apollo Murders. It goes really well together. 68 Whiskey. I don't think I've seen that. Grant. I don't think I've seen that. Resident Alien. Resident Alien is a sci-fi original comedy. I like it. It's good. The acting is good. The fucking main dude is funny. It's like a Third Rock from the Sun done more serious, I suppose. I like it. Star Wars The Bad Batch. It's a 3D Star Wars show. It's not half bad. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I've not really watched this one yet. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't really know what to make of it. I don't think I like it as much as OG Trek, as much as they try to harken back to original Star Trek. But I'd have to give it a fair chance before I really give a verdict on it. The Lincoln Lawyer. That was a movie. It's also a TV show. Dark Winds. I don't know anything about that. Quantum Leap, the modern rendition. I haven't really seen it. I like the old one. I haven't tried out the new one. I don't think it did too well though. Tulsa King. It's kind of like The Sopranos, except with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, that's the best way I can put that. It's a violent TV show, a gangster TV show. The World's Greatest Heist with Pierce Brosnan documentary series where he talks about heists, you guessed it. Real life shit that criminals did. How they got away with or mostly didn't get away with it. American Primeval. It's got Primeval in the title. That's probably why it's in my list, because I'm Prince Primeval. And then finally, The Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer in Another World. What a title. Japanese as fuck title. It's a Power Ranger Super Sentai anime where they isekai Red Ranger into a fantasy world, and all the fantasy characters are like, who are you? What, we've got this stuff going on. I've not seen it, by the way. This is just what I know about it. And Red Ranger is like, it's morphing time, and he brings out the Zord and all of this Power Ranger stuff, and the fantasy characters are like, what kind of powers is that? My good friend Zilla Master actually told me about that show, and Zilla Master is the one who knows a lot about tokusatsu and a lot more than me about tokusatsu, and introduced me to shows like Gridman. Gridman, Baby Don Don. Good theme tune. And that's the end of my list of TV shows. Thank you for sticking with me. It's been a long journey. We're here at, how long into this? Over 2 hours? Well, damn. That's a long time. But you know what? I'm glad I got this done. It's something I was meaning to do. I probably should have broken it up into 2 parts, but, you know, if you're watching it on YouTube, you don't have to watch it all at once. You can watch it however you want. Or you don't have to watch it at all. I don't really care. Do whatever the hell you want. Anyway, I'm Outski. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll be back a little bit later with some video games, because that's mostly what I do here on Twitch. Although it's not all I want to do. I want to do more other stuff than just playing the video games, because, you know, there's more stuff to do. There's more stuff to talk about. Video games is always like a good fallback when you don't know what else to do, or like it's good to just like focus your mind on a thing, play the fucking game. But yeah, I'm trying to branch out a little bit here and there. That's why I even got the webcam up now, you know what I mean? Like, time to expand. Alright, so I'm gonna find somebody to raid if we can. And yeah, be right back. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. On second floor, that's not many people. There's not really too many people online right now, so I think I'm just gonna end the stream as it is. So take care. See you next time.